And just like that, Super Saturday continues to work its way through our day as we get ready to head back to the Tops International Arena and back for the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Valkenswaard. So thank you for joining us and thank you for being with us throughout the day. We have had some superb jumping already in the Global Champions League, and now it's time for us to focus on the best riders of the weekend that have qualified for the Grand Prix, and much like Daniel Deusser back in 2021, will look to try and pick up victory later on this evening in this famous ground, the spiritual home of show jumping at Tops International Arena. Jodie Hall-McAteer already doing a walk. She'll be out early, just the second rider out the gate. And in fact, Michael van der Vleuten there in picture doing the course walk alongside his father will be the very first man. A great performance from Derek Kenny and Cartello in the Global Champions League. A clear from him guarantees his inclusion in today's Grand Prix. But we will take you through the rest of the starting lineup and show you exactly who is in and perhaps more importantly, who is out from a championship point of view. That's still to come. For now, though, let's show you how the season has played out thus far.
Here we are in London at Royal Hospital, Chelsea, for what will be the decider in this 11th Grand Prix of the season. It is Peter de Vos. That's the 8 strides, 1 stride less than all the others so far in this Grand Prix. And de Vos has a very smooth rollback actually, stalls over the upright, he's still clear, and with a big stab, he can make the Steven still work. De Vos, can he make the inside turn in here? Pulls on the inside rein and now tries to open up on the angle. On Moms to Piet Larocque, still clear. The winner of the Miami Grand Prix now comes round to the upright. Right by Royal Hospital, Chelsea. Final line coming up. Again, the big stride coming in hand. He's really opening up. He's risking it all to the final fence. There's De Vos, and he's much quicker. Oh yeah! It is 36.92. What a round for De Vos. And the Belgian is delighted because not only does he win the Grand Prix, he's also going to Prague.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable feeling, especially the horse, Moms to Piet Larocque. She did everything today for me. She was doing absolutely everything she could to jump the fences clear. And yeah, of course, I don't have her so long time, and now I felt it a bit coming that I would do a good result with her, and now the cherry on the cake to win, so I'm very, very happy.
Peter de Vos going on to win last weekend in London. What then does the championship table look like? Let's bring that up and show you now as to how it stands going into tonight's Grand Prix and give you an idea as to just how tight things are going. Christian Ahlmann now on 216 points. Christian Ahlmann, your championship leader, has qualified and will be jumping on Dominator Z today. Peter de Vos in second place. An interesting story around de Vos as we get ready for tonight's Grand Prix. There is no Peter de Vos, there is no Max Kuhner, and Ben Mayer, riding his young 9-year-old Issy, will be jumping today. So, is there a possibility that Ben Mayer, on a young, inexperienced horse, will be able to make up some championship ground, knowing that there are some big names around him that will not be participating, walking the course alongside his GCL team manager, Rob Hoekstra, providing some assistance as the two go on to get ready for tonight's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Frederick de Backer is standing by for us, getting ready for tonight's Grand Prix. Frederick, good afternoon to you. Always so much talk about who is in the Grand Prix, and looking at that championship table, big names not in tonight's Grand Prix. What impact is that going to have on those around them?
Well, it is mainly about those that aren't in the Grand Prix. Indeed, Max Kuhner and Peter de Vos not in the Grand Prix is kind of a big blow. Okay, Kuhner 8, that in general is difficult to qualify on 8, but that Peter de Vos doesn't qualify on 4 is a bit of a surprise. It has everything to do with the high number of clears and the faster fours that were in the Grand Prix qualifiers. So the both of them out of the Grand Prix. I heard you mention Ben Mayer. Now, Ben Mayer is on that inexperienced horse. I spoke to him just before the start of this coursework, and he said, I don't expect anything. I'm just here to develop this horse. This is not the horse that is expected to hand me championship points or put me in the race. This should not be him. That should be Valtic, maybe in Rome or at the other stages. It should not be Issy. He's just 9. He mentioned this will be the, what was it, the 5th round or the 6th round that he will jump on Issy. He said, I can't expect anything from that horse. So with all that in mind, that does sound like Aalman does not have any opposition, any competition at this point in this Grand Prix. For Aalman, this could turn out really well. You just have to remember that it's only the best 8 points, best 8 scores that count. So they have to improve on their worst 8 results. So even if Ben Meer scores 6 points here in the Grand Prix or Aalman, it doesn't really matter. Talking about Christian Aalman, guess who is here? The big man himself, Christian Aalman. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Do you follow that, the fact that Max Kühner and Pieter de Vos didn't qualify?
No, not really. Max, I saw him jumping in the beginning. With 2 down. Sometimes you can make it, but today was too many good results, so bad luck for him.
You are one of the most consistent riders in the last 15 years of Longines Global Champions Tour, but you've never won this series before. Your direct rivals aren't here. You're leading the championship. The third bundle championship is on an inexperienced horse, on a 9-year-old of who he doesn't expect anything this afternoon. There are only 3 stages to go.
It's time to do it, no?
It is. Do you feel there is a momentum?
No, right now I'm really happy with the whole season. Horse is jumping well, so dominated jump well the qualification. I'm in good position, so it's time to get some points. And for sure it's possible. I have to ride well, be concentrated, and then we see how far we can get.
Just to give you positive vibes, it's not about winning this Grand Prix, actually. You don't have to win this Grand Prix to win the championship. You just have to do okay, to do very well with all those others not here. You don't have to win this Grand Prix. That in a way, that also has to give you a little bit of a relaxed feeling that you don't have to win this.
I don't know, this is not really important, this information. I think if you want to win the overall, I'm not really into it with the points, but all the other years, it was a hard fight until the end. So you have some drop score. At the end, you have to be, I don't know, on the podium for sure 5, 6 times maybe. I'm far away from that, and we have some more shows to go. And if there's a possibility to be in the top, I think everybody should take this as good as possible. Otherwise, there's no chance in the overall at the end of the year.
I really like your approach. I'm going to let you walk the course. I do remember Codex 1 winning here, finishing 3rd here. This is really good ground for Christian Aalman. Christian, I'm going to let you go. Best of luck. And who knows, maybe we talk to you later on. You never know with Christian Aalman. He has been riding really well here on this ground. In the past, before the sand stage, there was also a grass stage here in Valkenswaard. With Codex 1, he performed really well. There's not so many riders that continuously perform well here in Valkenswaard. And Christian Aalman is one of them. If that is not an omen, I don't know what is.
I love that he's not being overwhelmed by the occasion. You make such a good point, Frederick. So much penning on today's performance, yet he still looks incredibly cool and calm. Before we let you go, we'll come back to you for the course. Before I let you go, we're talking about who is not in. The Pieter de Vosses, the Max Kühners, no Sanne Thijssen as well, by the way. Outstanding performance from her last year at this ground. Let's talk about who is in and who could jump very well today. Philip Weishaupt, last man to go. Malabar Johnson look good in GCL. Who else has stood out for you? Derek Kenny, perhaps? Who looks good today?
There's a few outsiders that look really well today. It's a name that is not going to ring a bell to you, but Koen Verreke with Casanova de la Pomme jumped, for me, one of the best rounds today and yesterday. It's a stallion that I have been keeping a close eye on ever since he was approved as a stallion. That's a horse to watch out. I see that Andreas Kau, Danish rider, is walking his course. He had a horse jumping really well. And if you then look around who you've got around you, Spencer Smith is on a young horse. Yeah, Derek Kenny, you mentioned him. He is in good form as well. Shane Breen is not to be discarded. I'm looking around. Ooh, interesting.
Behind us is Yuri Mansour. Couldn't jump yesterday. Jumped a really good round in the qualifier as individual. Horse enjoys a grass ring. Keep an eye on Yuri Mansour and Vitiki. I don't think that they will be too far off Yuri Mansour and Vitiki.
Very interesting. We will start putting some asterisks down. We'll let you get back to your course walk. We'll catch up with you again shortly. Also hearing from Christian Alman a few moments ago, the championship leader, knowing that there is no Max Kuhne and no Pieter de Vos around him, and knowing the fact as well that Ben Meyer will be riding his young 9-year-old Isi. It does give him the perfect opportunity to capitalize. And as Frederick said, it's not about winning today's Grand Prix. It's about making up championship points. And so late in the season, building that buffer, building that cushion as we get to Rome, as we get to New York, and as we get to Riyadh. How many points can Christian Alman, knowing that today is perfectly set up, pick up from Valkenswaard? Disappointingly for a young talented rider from the Netherlands in Sanne Thijssen, we have seen such exceptional performances from her, especially on this very ground. Unfortunately, due to a tough weekend for the Istanbul Sultans in the Global Champions League, Sanne Thijssen will not be able to try and replicate that success after failing to qualify for today's Grand Prix.
That was really surprising. It was not because he was not fit or something. He was maybe a little bit too fit. The first fence was a little bit, I cannot say my mistake, but he was running a little bit too deep. I couldn't get him. Couldn't get enough space. So okay, that happens. But then two really stupid faults, actually, like really patting the fences, and he pat him just out of the cups.
It's also a lot of emotions when you were going out of the ring.
Yeah, because you really want to, and normally you expect that you anyway in the Grand Prix go clear, or you have 1 down and then you have 3 down. That's really unusual results for Konkidam.
Apologies, it wasn't for Sanne Thijssen's performance in the Global Champions League. She did not jump in round 2. It was as an individual that Sanne Thijssen had some very difficult time. And as we said, either way, not qualifying for today's Grand Prix. So she will not be able to try and replicate that success and look to make another magical performance and another magical night of show jumping for the talented young Dutchman. We also know that Max Kuhne has not qualified, and this is big from a championship point of view as well. Earlier on today, no jumping in the Global Champions League. Here was Max Kuhne as an individual, and 4 penalties for Kuhne quickly then extended itself into 8 penalties. And after a very clean field prior to this, we had a feeling that 8 penalties was not going to be enough. And with further confirmation, 8 was not going to get Max Kuhne in. He will not be in tonight's Grand Prix. But one of the outsiders, one of the potential names who loves a big grass ring, according to Frederick de Backer, is Yuri Mansour. Frederick is standing alongside him. Frederick, over to you. Let's hear if today can be the day for Yuri Mansour.
Thank you very much, Mark. Yuri, I have put 3 asterisks behind the name of Vitiki for this afternoon. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I have to say you're right. Vitiki is jumping really well. I think it's crazy after all what this horse had in the last 4 years. He's getting better and better. And like you say, every time it's true. On the grass, he feels even better.
Grass is his footing. I looked at your results over the last few weeks. You've just brought him out to grass rings because he feels comfortable there.
Yeah, but to be honest, you know, if you look back 1.5 years ago in Madrid, I told that he could not jump on the grass, you know, the land and everything, but somehow now he even preferred than the sand, for sure.
Can you tell me a bit about the course you've walked it? I saw you discuss with Spencer Smith and with others. What do you make of this course? What stands out for you?
Yeah, like we know Juliano, you know, he's the master of use the angles, you know, so the measure looks quite fair and quite simple, but the angles 3, 4 to the 555, then to the 6, this is trick. And for sure the last line is also, you know, the horses are tired already, and then you have a flat distance to the last, the plank. So yeah, you have to pay attention more or less all the course.
Talk to me about the plank. It is from Global Champions to the Tulip plank and then down to the last. How are you going to ride that line?
I try to have the 8 outside that I can ride a bit in the end, that I have good jump on the plank with a lot of space, and then the 5 gonna come more or less natural for me, I hope.
Super. We're going to see how that rides for you and for Vitiki. Best of luck. There's a big star behind your name and behind Vitiki's mark. I think that they are potential challengers for this Grand Prix. Fresh Vitiki here at the start. Great jumping in the qualifier.
Absolutely, and because of that good jumping, they'll be the fifth last combination to come out, Frederick, so he will be coming out late as well. So a lot would have happened for Yuri Mansour, and only Marlon Bayer-Jonsson, Olivier Robert, Bertram Allen and Philip Weishout will be after him. Before we say goodnight and goodbye to you, since we have you there and you are in this gorgeous grass ring, we heard Yuri Mansour now talking about some angles from Uliana Vizani. What angles have you picked up? What has really stood out for you?
Well, I'll show you. We'll just move around a little bit. I'll show you what Yuri Mansour is talking about, because actually Mansour is walking that line again. He's talking about the line from fence 4 to fence 5. This is fence 5, triple combination. We have to look at fence 4. Now, if I stand on a straight line to fence 4, this is pretty much here, and I look for the center of the next fence, and I turn around. What is that? I am, what is that? That is 2 strides out. I'm 2 strides out, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is actually quite a good point of takeoff. So basically what Vizani wants, and everybody is going to come through the corner and has got the potential, or the risk is to jump on the inside and come on the inside and get stuck here with a very big oxer in the center. It's a matter of staying out as wide as long as possible. Let's ask Marlon Zanotelli. Interesting line here from Uliana Vizani. It takes you very long until you get straight into this combination.
Yeah, he's always clever, isn't he? Throw us in an angle a little bit that you jump the triple bar and you want to go to the vert. If you're not patient there, already throws you in a bad angle here to the triple. So I think if you get that straight and be patient to get this straight, then I think the best way to ride is triple. We'll see.
It's a very interesting word that you use, get straight. And no, sorry, be patient. Patience is a virtue, to stay out for the vertical and stay out for the combination. In the end, this is a 9 strides for you. How did you walk it?
Yeah, for me it would be a 9. I think 8 is too flat to come in here. For me, I try to open up a little bit, keep my rhythm on the 9.
No pressure riding on you. You're already qualified for the Super Grand Prix.
Always pressure. We always wants to win.
All right, super. Marlon Zanotelli, thank you very much. Best of luck. Yeah, be patient. Stay out and stay out. I think this might be one of the lines for the analysis. And if not, well, Vizani has got 2 more interesting lines. 8, 9, 10, and even 11, 12, and 13 really stand out. Lots of technicalities here in this Lgct Grand Prix of Valkenswaard, Mark.
Frederick, are you expecting a larger jump-off team? We think back to London last week and the group looked very small. Some late inclusions turned it into, I think it was 5 or 6 by the end of the weekend. Round 1 of the Global Champions League, super difficult. Perhaps a slightly more predictable round 2. From what you've seen from Vizani today, from what you've seen on the starting list, are we predicting a larger jump-off group, a smaller jump-off group?
Put this course in a smaller sand ring, and you don't have 5, I think. This is a proper big course. It is one of the bigger courses of the season. But the secrets, or the one thing that holds the key is this, Mark. This is what makes the difference about the number of clears that we will be getting into the Grand Prix, into the jump-off. This is what made the magic in this second day in the qualifier as well. The ground has been riding fantastic, and for me, round 2 of GCL looked more difficult than round 1 of GCL, yet we had more clears, so that really still mixes with my mind. Still in trouble in here. I'm trying to post it and I can't get it done. This is a big course. If this ground, and there's no reason why it shouldn't, if this ground again jumps and rides as good as it did in GCL round 2, I wouldn't be surprised that we would have, between brackets, too many clears, that we would have a group of 8. Normally, this course would give you a group of 4, 5, 6. Wouldn't be surprised if we would have 8 or 9, just because this ground jump's so good.
All right, Frederick de Backer, we'll let you go. We're keeping an eye on Yuri Mansour. We're keeping an eye on some of the expected names, but as we know, things can change incredibly quickly. Frederick de Backer, head into your commentary box. He will be one of the many language options available for you on GCTV this evening as we get ready to head to the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Valkenswaard. What a night this could well be for Christian Alman. Will this be an opportunity for Marlon Zanotelli? There goes the yellow jumper of Yuri Mansour. And Frederick de Backer has already pointed out that Witecki looks fresh. The 14-year-old chestnut could perform miracles tonight and go on to win tonight's Grand Prix. Qualified very well, will be late in the run-up, but based on form from the Global Champions League as well, there is no denying that Marlon Baard-Jonsson looked incredibly good, that Darragh Kenny looked incredibly good. And let's not forget that Philip Weishout as well for the Berlin Eagles earlier today was sensational. He will be the very last man to come out the gate and will know exactly what lies in wait for him and what will be required to get into today's second round and get into that jump-off. Speaking of the championship leader, speaking of the man that knows that there will be no Max Kuhne today from a championship point of view, that there will be no Peter de Vos today from a championship point of view, and knowing that Ben Meyer is jumping on a young, inexperienced 9-year-old EC, it really is set up for Christian Allman to shine today. We caught up with him on Way to the Top. That'll be available for you on GCTV. Let's give you a little bit of insight into the championship leader on the Longines Global Champions Tour.
I'm Christian Allman. I'm from Germany and a professional rider. I can be very focused on the important things I have to do. Warming up, have a good plan for the course, for the horse, for the warming up, everything. Very focused on the sport, on the horse, and try to do a good job. The Grand Prix was amazing on my home show with Dominator. Was an amazing day.
Allman has to push to find the time of 51.33 seconds on Dominator 2000Z. Can he dominate in Hamburg for the second win here on the Derby Park? Here comes Allman. It is 50.51, nearly a second quicker. And Allman is on top of the world at this moment. He dominates over Thieme and Stevens. It is 50.51 seconds.
Right now I'm #1 of the overall ranking. That means it's a very good position right now in this moment, but it feels very good, gives a lot of confidence. If the situation stays like this, I would like to win the overall as well. So it would be an unbelievable goal to get it done. I was often very close, but at the end it was not enough. I really work for it and I really hope for it that we see Christian Allman on the podium at the end of the season.
Will we see Christian Allman on the podium later on tonight? You and I will both find out right here on GCTV. So stay with us. Get ready for tonight's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Valkenswaard. We'll find out who will be the 12th winner of the prestigious golden ticket to head to the Lgct Super Grand Prix, as well as your 2022 winner in Valkenswaard. Stay with us here on GCTV. The Grand Prix is next.